How's it going today? Today we're going to talk about the market. We're going to review the market, what I looked at this week. We had some lot earnings. I do this on earnings. Make sure to subscribe and like the video, comment what you were watching, what you were excited for. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. But anyway, we're going to jump right into it. We heard some results from Uber. It got hit again. It pummeling. I believe you could see a trend this earnings season. I said it in a couple videos before, and I've said it before that the trend usually switches. There's two ways of looking at it. There's usually the stock market focuses on revenue or earnings. So essentially, in this earnings season, everybody's focused on earnings. There's a lot of reasons why that might be true. But sometimes they focus on revenue, because Uber's saying it's growing revenue at 30%, but really nobody really even cares about revenue. I mean, a lot of these companies, if their profits are not in line, they sell off the stock. And sometimes, I remember back actually during the spring, they didn't care about profits, all they cared about revenue, now they care about profits. So essentially, and it just it's always this battle between, is it about revenue, is it about earnings, is it about cash flow? I mean, it just depends. I mean, it's really just randomly. I mean, I believe sometimes during this thing, because I remember back, and normally when they believe that a recession or a slowdown is approaching or whatever, normally they start dumping stocks that don't have a whole lot of profits. Their thinking is if the economy tanks, they won't have that top line growth to sell the stock. So essentially, they dump them stocks and buy the ones to beat earnings. Because I remember, you go back a couple quarters, with Google, the earnings was good, but the revenue slowed down, so the stock sold off 12%. But now the exact opposite. They don't care, but they didn't even talk about the slowing revenue, but the earnings beat, so the stock went up. So essentially, it's just how it is. But it's a growing trend with Uber. With that, it's down 14% this whole week just because of profits. They're investing heavily into research and development, and stuff like that, and some other things. But anyway, now the next one is Match Group. Match Group, I have no idea why this one's down. I mean, it was down over 15% for some reason. I mean, I believe it's just one of these stocks that ran up a lot, and people are just taking profits. That's what kind of happens. I mean, maybe a slight weaker outlook, but I mean, still, I mean, some of these stocks, they just sell off. I mean, you have to think, if you're, let's say you're a portfolio manager and you have people who are, trusting you to get a good return, what do? You have a stock that's more than doubled this year. Do you sell it? Or you wait for it to, you know what I mean? You take profits, So a lot of this in Match Group is just profit taking. That's what it sold off, and then it actually rebound. So it's only down actually 4%. But you have to understand, if you look at the year over year, I mean, the stock's up over 90%. So essentially, it's so a good one to own. Just don't judge a stock on one day performance or 1 week or really 1 month or actually 1 year. I mean, look out longer, so essentially, and now the next one is Roku. Roku is one of these stocks. Once these stocks, a lot of these stocks get a lot of media attention, and they just get more volatile. I think Roku is one of these stocks that nobody really knows what's going on. I don't think people really understand, 100% that people are buying this stock. They got it sold off heavily because it was buying these boxes. Because Comcast gave you a free one if you signed up, so they were like, oh, well, Roku's done. If somebody can give their product they're selling for free, why would you even buy Roku? But they don't really. It's an advertisement play. Basically, that's how it works. The profits were down. But, that's just kind of them investing in the future. And really, actually, it's pretty good, actually, for a lot of these growth stocks, in my opinion. If you look at Amazon, and it's funny, look up, a video way back in the day in 1980, it was 1998 when Jeff Bezos was talking about Amazon, how he didn't really care about profits. He actually didn't care, and actually Amazon was unprofitable all the way until about 2015. So, I mean, they had some cup quarters where they were good, but majority of the time they were unprofitable on an accounting basis. I mean, you have to understand how the accounting kind of works. So essentially, but anyway, that's how it works. We're Roku. The next one is Square. It's been flat. This is, Square is one of these stocks. It shot up on good earnings, but for some reason, people there's just no. I believe it's this stock. I believe it's going to pop eventually. It's just been kind of flat, and the company's been growing, been doing well, but they always this negative kind of cloud around it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like this dark cloud over Square that people are just unsure about it. They think it's garbage. They think it's no good, and it's just I feel like it's just negative. The stock is just kind of hasn't been good. The media gets on it and saying, "Oh, Jack Dorsey, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's an idiot. He's this, he's that." And they just sometimes bash stocks, and this one just gets kind of the negative. I remember when this stock used to be like the number one. I mean, this was the number one thing you had to get. This was the hot stock, but now it's garbage. They just kind of, and that's just kind of how the media works and stuff. I mean, one day it's here today, gone tomorrow type things with the media, and that's just how it kind of works. I still believe in the company. I think it has a great outlook, and actually it became profitable. I mean, it had a profitable quarter. It's slowly getting more profitable, so I mean, I don't know why people are bashing it. So essentially I think it's a growth stock, and people don't really want growth anymore. They kind of want value because they think the economy's slowing, a recession. They're under fear about the election. For some reason, they think Trump's going to lose or whatever the case is. And if Elizabeth Warren gets in there for some reason, she's second in Democratic, and she's going to get in, the stock market's going to crash. So they're dumping all these growth stock, which I think it's going to be a big mistake if you sell any growth stock that's done well in the last year or so. I'm talking the company. The stock might have did poorly, but if you dump a stock because based on future election that nobody knows about, I think that's very foolish, and I do not agree with that. Next one is GoDaddy. GoDaddy, they had a big profit, so the stock went up, but then it sold off. So essentially, with GoDaddy, I still like the company. I think it's doing well. Think of domain names with internet. Everybody's making a website these days with Shopify, with Wix, stuff like that. So essentially, with GoDaddy, that's kind of behind that. They're actually trying to get like Shopify too. GoDaddy, I think it's a company. It just keeps, nobody really talks about the stock, but it just keeps. It's one of these ones that just kind of slowly ticking up. Actually, it's been flat this year, but it's ran up over the last couple of years. I think it's well over 200% or whatever it was. So essentially, I mean, that's a big gain. And now the next one is one that I've been recommending a lot. The one I really like that for a while now is the Trade Desk. The Trade Desk came out. It's one of these stocks. It's ran up so much. It's just like the Match Group. It's ran up so much. I mean, this thing was over it was 900%, 800%. I mean, this one's going to get hammered eventually, and it's been getting just thrown on the bus for no reason. I don't know why. People, it was down on the news. It beat earnings. It had great revenue. I mean, it had a record quarter, and then the stock sells off. It's kind of like, it's kind of gets disjointed, but the stock did ran up a lot, and, almost to the point where it gets overvalued, then it gets undervalued, and then it just kind of swings both ways, why the value just kind of keeps growing up, but it's just been swinging up and down. And that's the Trade Desk. I still recommend it. I haven't been buying any recently, even with the sell-off, just because it's almost getting too big in my portfolio. It seems like my portfolio moves on the Trade Desk, because I was buying it, last year when it was 100 and before that. So essentially, it's ran up so much that it's such a large percentage of my portfolio, more than I'm kind of more, because I don't want to keep adding to it, because I don't believe in but I don't really 100% believe in diversifying heavily. I don't believe in just buying for the sake of diversifying, be like, I need a utility in my portfolio, that gonna make it better. No, I don't believe with that, but I don't believe in overextending it. I remember back in 2018 with Nvidia was actually about 50% of my portfolio, and I was like, my portfolio would just move on the Nvidia. It's basically, because it's ran up so much. I mean, that thing went up, Nvidia was one of the best companies to own and one of the best stocks, and still is. I still own it, but I cut it way back. It's about 5-6%. I sold it, and just because I didn't expect that one to keep running up, but it did. It just kept running up. But anyway, the next one is Activision Blizzard. It's down on some weak guidance, which I was shocked. I don't know. Some weak guidance, and it's funny too, because Activision Blizzard did Call of Duty and stuff like that, and it's kind of been hit. It had a record thing with that, and it just kind of sold off. I don't know why. These video games, once again, they're kind of in the doghouse. I think that's going to be a mistake. I think people can still play video games. I think that'd be kind of foolish. You know what I mean? But next one, I would not sell Activision. Activision is probably one of these ones I just keep holding and holding for years now. But I'm still not going to sell it. The dividends is nice. It's been slowly increasing that over the years too. But next one is Disney Plus. This one is Disney. Disney Plus is actually my first stock I've ever bought was Disney way back 2013. It's done well. It's Disney. It's coming out with more content. I believe that's it looked good. Hopefully the outlook, we hopefully get some numbers on it next quarter. And that's about it for the whole week. And the Google is finally, and it's one of these stocks I remember back in April I kind of talked about at the beginning of the video. It got hammered, and now actually Google just hit an all-time high. Actually, 5 years, I bought it in 2015, the summer of 2015. And that's up over 143%. So essentially, this stock just keeps going up, and I still recommend. See, this is why you have to have a lot ones in your portfolio. But anyway, thank you I'm running out of time here. But thank you. Leave a comment, subscribe, and thank you for watching. I'm going to make another video shortly and keep you guys posted. Thank you. Goodbye.